Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Well, it's about as good as you can do for a Monday, but like I always say, that's life. What we're going to do. Anyway, I hope you had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Man, we had some beautiful weather here. Uh, Rained a little bit on Saturday night, but other than that, it was sunny, high in the 60s. Just a great overall weekend. Hope it was great where you were too. Uh, some pretty interesting football. Not big time. Well, I mean, there's a few big time matchups. Most of it is kind of mediocre, but still, we have some good games. We're going to go over those. We're going to go over some news, some big news happened just yesterday. We'll go over that. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything. Let's go ahead and get started. The other day, I think it was Thursday, Matt Rule got a 2-year contract extension at Nebraska, then lost Saturday night to USC. It was a good game, though. I mean, Nebraska kind of controlled the first half, but I guess Lincoln Riley made some second half adjustments, and not so much in the second half. It's more USC. All right, so the big news yesterday, actually a couple big items. Auburn, we all knew this was coming, fired Hugh Freeze, 15-19 in 2.5 seasons. He is owed $15.8 million in the buyout. Don't really know. I mean, this is my opinion. Auburn, the last several years, has kind of been a dumpster fire because Hugh Freeze, look what he did. Built a winner at Ole Miss, went to Liberty, built a winner there at Liberty, came to Auburn, just couldn't get anything going there. Some people in the media said if he would have had a few more years, he could have done something, but we all know how it is now. There's just no more patience in college sports. Everybody wants to win it all and win it now. So Auburn is looking for a new coach. Hugh Freeze is looking for a new job. South Carolina, they fired their offensive coordinator, Mike Shula, 9 games into his first season. Kind of makes sense. I mean, you got some good players on that team, but nothing was really happening with them. Yeah, a few good flashes here and there, but nothing like the last year and stuff like that. Saturday, Coach Dion, would not let his players talk to the media after Colorado's 52-17 beat down by Arizona. Guess he just didn't want to deal with that, didn't want his players dealing with any of that, so he said, don't talk to my players. Speaking of Nebraska, we just talked about Matt Rule. Dylan Raiola broke his right fibula in that USC game. He's out for the season. When he went out, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Backup came in, I forget his name, I got it written down in the highlights. That guy didn't do too bad. He's a runner. You can tell he can run. So they might be all right the rest of the season with this guy. I haven't seen the rest of their schedule. Looks like they might be all right. This came down last week. LSU, got rid of Brian Kelly. Got rid of their OC later in the week. They got rid of AD Scott Woodard. LSU fans were celebrating 3 times last week. Got rid of Kelly, got rid of the OC, now you got rid of AD. So they look like they're almost building from scratch. And tomorrow night, first CFP ratings come out. I saw some of the projected ones. Looks pretty interesting if that holds. I mean, we all know how that changes, but there are some good games, some good teams in there. They would be playing right now if the season stopped. Like I said, if their projections are right, but we all know how that changes. All right, so let's go back a few days. Thursday, UTSA. Man, remember they've had some good teams the last several years. This year, not so good. They're 3-4 going into that game against Tulane last Thursday. Tulane, who was 6-1. UTSA beat them down 48-26. Roadrunners McCown was 31 of 33, 94% completion rate, 370 yards, 4 touchdowns. Amador, 113 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. McQuinn, 96 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. And their kicker, Petro, 12 points. He had a hell of a night. Tulane's Retzlaff, 194 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He did run for a touchdown. Tulane, 4 turnovers in that game. UTSA, they won somehow because they had 10 penalties for 116 yards. So good for them. That's probably a morale booster. That's probably more than likely, definitely, I would say, ends Tulane's hopes of jumping into the CFP. Coastal Carolina moved to 5-3. They beat Marshall 44-27. Coastal Carolina's Collier, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Nice game for him. Not all bad for Marshall. Boogie Trotter. It's a cool name, Boogie Trotter. 51-yard pick 6 for him. Friday, number 25, Memphis beat Rice down the road, 38-14. Memphis Peasant, 24 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns though. Rice, only 212 total yards. UNC, man, North Carolina, they won. Beat Syracuse 27-10. Belichick's first ACC win as head coach. Good for him. Louisiana Tech, they are 5-3. They beat Sam Houston 55-14. Sam Houston is 0-8. That is just crazy. They've usually had a decent team. Louisiana Tech's, how do you say his name? Devonin, I think. 143 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Hell of a game for him. Jacob Fields, though, 85-yard pick 6. Moving on to Saturday, UConn, they moved to 6-3. They beat UAB 38-19. Faginero for UConn, 267 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to Skylar Bell, who had 149 receiving yards. Cam Chadwick picked off 3 passes for the Huskies. North Texas, 8-1, playing undefeated Navy, beat Navy, gave Navy the first loss of the season, 31-17. That ends Navy's 10-game win streak. Caleb Hawkins from North Texas, 197 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. Mestamaker, 234 passing yards. Is that right? Yeah. Mestamaker, 234 passing yards. My writing was all messed up. I was like, wait. Anyway, Horvath for Navy, damn good guy. 80 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, but he ran for 112 in the touchdown. They were pretty even in post-game numbers, though, after this game. But Navy did have 3 turnovers, so they lost the turnover category there. Army, they are 4-4, beat Air Force 20-17. Air Force is 2-6. What the hell happened to them? They've had a decent team the last several years. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Baylor, they broke 500. They are 5-4 now. Beat Central Florida 30-3. Robertson, 267 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Central Florida, 13 first downs, 1 for 11 on 3rd down, 0 for 3 on 4th down. Scott Frost got to do something about that. Buffalo, they also broke 500. They are 5-4 now. Beat Bowling Green 28-3. Victor Snow for Buffalo, 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. Illinois, they improved to 6-3. Beat Rutgers 35-13. Altemeyer, 235 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Ran for 88 and a touchdown also. Incredible. He spread it out, though. 4 different receivers caught touchdown passes for Illinois. Rutgers, how you say his name? Kalikaman? 253 passing yards, but only 1 touchdown. They only had 59 rushing yards. That's crazy. Duke wins at Clemson for the first time since 1980. They beat them 46-45. Nate Shepard, 3rd TD run with 40 seconds left. Duke gets the 2-point conversion. They went for the win. They got it. They won. Mensa, 361 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 of them to Quayshawn Brown. Clemson's Klubnik, 75% completion rate, 385 yards, 2 touchdowns. Randall ran for 2 touchdowns. Duke had a 21-7 lead heading into the second. Blew that lead. Clemson went up 28-21. After that, it was back and forth until Duke came out with the win. This one I don't understand. This one just happened down the road. I watched a little bit of it, but I wasn't going to watch much of it because I figured number 22 Houston would have no problem with 3-6 West Virginia. I was wrong. Houston loses 45-35. Fox Jr. for the Mountaineers, 157 passing yards, touchdown, ran for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hubbard had 108 receiving yards and a touchdown. Jordan Scruggs, 80-yard pick 6. That was kind of the theme for this weekend. A lot of pick 6s, a lot of them for long ways, long yardage. So that one was 80 yards. Connor Wigman for U of H, 309 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, ran for a touchdown, but he also had 2 interceptions. Amir Thomas had 99 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. West Virginia, 5 for 17 on third down. U of H was 5 for 12. West Virginia, 4 for 4 on fourth down. U of H was 2 for 2. West Virginia, only 157 passing yards, but they had 246 on the ground. U of H, 318 passing yards, but only 82 rushing yards, and they committed 4 turnovers. West Virginia, 85 yards of penalties, still won that game. Did you see what happened up there in Dallas? SMU gave number 10 Miami their second loss of the season, beating them 26-20 in overtime. I saw some crazy stats that first time since 1983, SMU's beat a top 10 team back when, their heyday when they got busted, or right before they got busted and got the death penalty. SMU's Jennings, 365 passing yards, touchdown, ran for a touchdown. Harden, rushing touchdown. Carson Beck from Miami, 274 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but he threw 2 interceptions, including 1 in overtime while they were driving, pretty much sealed the deal for SMU. Miami, more total yards, more rushing yards, but more turnovers and penalties than SMU had. SMU, they were competitive the entire game. Back and forth. We mentioned Beck threw that OT or that interception in overtime. Kind of pretty much lost the game for him. SMU after that got a couple of first downs. All they had to do was kick the field goal and win, but Harden, 1-yard TD rush to win that game. So good for SMU. Good win for them. Not good for Miami, though. I don't know. I didn't know what to make of this game. Number 20, Texas beating number 9, Vandy, 34-31. Manning actually looked like we thought he might. 76% completion rate, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns. Wingo, 89 receiving yards and a touchdown. The kicker Shipley, 10 points, which they needed. Texas played great like the first 3 quarters. The fourth quarter, they kind of went to sleep. Gave Vandy a chance to come back in that game. Pavia, 71% completion rate, 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for 43 and a touchdown. Stowers, 146 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Texas was up 17-0 in the first quarter. Then it was 24-10 at halftime. Then it was 34-10 in the fourth quarter. Vandy, like I said, made a comeback. Texas went to sleep or something. Scored 21 points in the fourth quarter of this game. Pretty close in post-game numbers after I was looking through the stats and all that. However, Vanderbilt lost in the sack category. Pavia was sacked 6 times. Texas, they just keep finding ways to win. Kentucky game, I actually blamed that loss on Mark Stoops. That was just stupid plays that he was calling there in overtime. Mississippi State, I don't know what happened to them. They just kind of gave up in the fourth quarter. I guess they thought they had it, lost that game. But Texas hangs in there and finds ways to win. Number 1, Ohio State, they screwed around a little bit in the first half versus Penn State, leading 17-14 at half. Finally woke up, started playing, outscoring Penn State 21-0 in the second half. Sayin, 87% completion rate, 20 for 23, 316 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 of them to Smith, who had 123 receiving yards. They had 280 more total yards. Each team only committed 1 turnover in that game. Arizona State, they are 6-3, beat Iowa State 24-19. Iowa State falls to 5-4. Sam Levitt didn't play because of his foot, but Jeff Sims, he did pretty good. 177 passing yards, touchdown, but he ran for 228 and 2 touchdowns. I think Arizona State's going to be all right. Arizona State, 3 turnovers and 119 yards and penalties, still won that game. Rocco Beck for the Cyclones, 186 passing yards and a touchdown. He also ran for a touchdown. Iowa State's season is slowly starting to go downhill. East Carolina, they are 5-3, beat Temple 45-14. They outscored Temple 17-0 in the second half of that game. Temple, 11 first downs, 3 for 12 on third down. East Carolina, 614 total yards after that one. New Mexico, they are 6-3. Look at New Mexico. Remember last year we talked about New Mexico could be a damn good team if they just learn how to finish. They probably should have had 8 wins, maybe even 9 last year, but they just could not finish games. They played good. They're proving it this year. They're 6-3 now. Gave UNLV their second loss of the season. They won 40-35. Lobos Lane, 17 for 22, 77% completion rate, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked 4 times. Bankston, 122 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. They won despite only 16 first downs, 3 for 11 on third down, and 76 yards in penalties. UNLV, Colandrea, not a bad game. He's 78% completion rate, 382 passing yards, 3 touchdowns for him. Number 6, Louisville. They are 7-1 now. Beat Virginia Tech 28-16. Louisville's Moss, he had a touchdown. Brown had 2 rushing touchdowns. Western Kentucky, they are 7-2. Quietly a 7-2. Beat New Mexico State 35-16. Tisdale for the Hilltoppers, 4 touchdowns, 2 to Henry. 3-4 Liberty beat 4-3 Delaware 59-30. Delaware started off good. Started off 3-1. They went 1-2 last month in October. This one was kind of crazy too. But when you hear about what happened, 5-3 Fresno State goes to Boise, beat 6-2 Boise State 30-7. But Boise's quarterback Maddox Madsen went out with a leg injury. Fresno State took advantage of that with 2 rushing touchdowns. Kicker Lynch, he had 12 points. Defense sacked the backup quarterback Cutforth 3 times and forced 3 turnovers in that one. Boise State, only 193 total yards, 94 yards of penalties. So they're going to miss Madsen. I haven't seen anything on his injury. I don't know how serious it is, if he's out for the season or what. But if he's out for the season, they're going to miss him bad. Old Dominion. Man, remember they were doing good, started sucking. Well, they're doing good again. They won again. They're 6-3 now. Beat Louisiana Monroe 31-6. Joseph 231 passing yards. No TDs, no passing TDs, but he did run for 72 and 3 touchdowns. Pitt, they are quiet 6-2. Nobody talked about Pitt really. Beat Stanford 35-20. 7 turnovers between these 2 teams in this game. And each team had over 80 yards in penalties. But hey, Pitt still won. Minnesota, they are 5-3. They beat Michigan State, who's 3-5 now, 23-20 in overtime. Minnesota's Lindsey, no passing touchdowns, but 2 rushing touchdowns. Minnesota defense had 7 sacks in that game. Number 13, Texas Tech. Man, they are quietly making some noise, aren't they? Beat Kansas 43-20. Morton for the Red Raiders, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns to Douglas, who had 82 receiving yards. Williams ran for 135 and a touchdown. Curry, 10 yards, picked up a fumble, scoop and score when Avery Johnson fumbled. Texas Tech defense, 5 turnovers and 2 sacks. And when I saw the projected CFP standings for tomorrow night, coming out, Texas Tech was in there. They didn't get a bye, of course. They're in they had projected to play Oregon or BYU or somebody like that. I forget. But we'll find out tomorrow night. Number 12, Notre Dame beat Boston College 25-10. It was only 12-7 at halftime. Carr, 72% completion rate, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Love does it again. 136 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. They are only 3 for 10 on third down, 2 for 4 on fourth down. Defense stepped up, though. Forced 3 turnovers, had 6 sacks. Number 5, Georgia beats Florida 24-20 in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Florida did look good the whole game, though. I have to give them that. Bulldog Stockton, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns to Bell and Thomas. Bowens had a rushing touchdown. They had 21 first downs, 7 for 15 on third down, 361 total yards. Lagaway for Florida, 166 passing yards and a touchdown to Wilson, who had 121 receiving yards. Bow had a rushing touchdown. They had 16 first downs, only 2 for 11 on third down. Like I said, give it to Florida, man. They hung in there that whole game. I guess they knew what a rivalry it was and how bad they wanted to win them. But both sides, defense and offense for Florida made plays when they needed them to stay in that game. So Things looking good in Florida. They just need to get themselves a good coach. Number 2, Indiana beat Maryland. Big surprise, 55-10. Maryland 4-4 now. They're continuing their second half season collapse like they do every year. They failed to score in the second, fourth quarter of this game. Mendoza for Indiana, 201 passing yards and a touchdown, ran for a touchdown. His brother Alberto came in, threw a touchdown pass. Black, Hemby, and Martin all had rushing touchdowns for the Hoosiers. Cooper and Brady had TD catches. Indiana, 28 first downs, 7 for 12 on third down, 588 total yards. Maryland's Washington, 242 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, or a touchdown and 2 interceptions, I'm sorry. Maryland only 37 rushing yards in this game, 3 for 12 on third down, gave up the ball 5 times. Indiana, man, they just keep rolling. I just don't know what to think about Maryland. They start off good, and every year they get into October, they just... So I don't know if they're going to make changes there in Maryland when this year's up or what, but yeah, it's just like every damn year that happens to Maryland. Number 15, Virginia. They got by Cal 31-21. Morris for Virginia, 262 passing yards. Taylor, 105 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Robinson, 35-yard pick 6. They were 10 for 19 on third down. Cal was only 3 for 12 on third down. Arkansas was winning 35-28 in the fourth quarter, but lost to Ole Miss 38-35. Shapen, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Both passes were to Evans. Taylor had a rushing touchdown. Green for the Razorbacks, 194 yards, touchdown. He also ran for a touchdown. Washington Jr., 116 rushing yards and a touchdown. Mississippi State scored 17 points in the final 9 minutes of that game to win. Western Michigan beat Central Michigan 34-21. Both of them are 5-4. Kansas is 5-4. They beat Oklahoma State 38-21. Hey, good news for the Cowboys, though. Only 1 penalty in that game. San Diego State, they are 7-1. Beat Wyoming 24-7. Sutton for the Aztecs, 158 rushing yards and a touchdown. They did it 2 for 12 on third down. Still, that just blows my mind that some of these teams win and just suck on third down. Arizona, they moved to 5-3, beat Colorado 52-17. Dion told his players, don't talk to the media. I keep saying his name is Fifita, but I keep hearing that other people pronounce it differently. Anyway, good quarterback, 213 yards, 4 touchdowns. Arizona defense looked like almost like the old Desert Swarm in the 90s. 5 turnovers, 3 sacks in this game. Number 21, Michigan. Man, boy, they squeaked by Purdue, 21-16. Marshall for the Wolverines. Great night for him. 185 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Number 7, Ole Miss beat South Carolina, 30-14. Chambliss for the Rebels. 159 passing yards and a touchdown. 59 rushing yards, touchdown and a touchdown. Lacey ran for 167 and a touchdown. Here we go. Ole Miss won, but they were 1 for 11 on third down. But they were 3 for 4 on fourth down. So there you go. USC Sellers, 180 passing yards, not too bad. Touchdown. Threw 2 interceptions, but he also ran for a touchdown. So, yeah, it's probably good they got rid of Shula because Sellers is a hell of a quarterback. We saw that last year. They just need to get somebody in there that can really get him going. South Carolina, only 15 first downs, 3 for 13 on third down, only 50 rushing yards for them. Ole Miss defense, 2 turnovers, 6 sacks. Kentucky beat Auburn 10-3. Hugh Freeze lost his job. Kentucky defense, 2 turnovers and 7 sacks in this game. Both of them had under 18 first downs in this game. Oregon State, they won again. Boy, look at them. 2-7 now. Beat Washington State 10-7. They did it by having 14 first downs. Again, 1 for 12 on third down. 184 total yards. They still beat the Cougars. Florida State won. They beat Wake Forest 42-7. Castellanos, 271 yards. Touchdown. Ran for a touchdown. Sawcheck, 2 rushing touchdowns. Defense, 2 turnovers, 4 sacks. Wake Forest, 93 yards on penalties. You think Castellanos is still talking crap like he did before that Alabama game? Yeah, they beat Alabama, whooped them good, talked crap before it. Now look at them. They're, I don't know what they are now. I don't have their record down, but think he's still talking crap? I haven't seen anything. This is a good game. I enjoyed this game. Number 23, USC beat Nebraska 21-7. Like I said, Nebraska seemed to control that first half. Offense and defense. Halftime went by. Raiola, he went out of the game, but some adjustments Lincoln Riley made just made it a whole different game. Mayava, he wasn't too spectacular. 135 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, but he did run for a touchdown. Miller, he had 129 rushing yards and a touchdown for the Trojans. Raiola, 91 yards and a touchdown before he went out with an injury. Latif came in, didn't do much, like I said, but show he can run. He did escape some tackles. Trojans, 6 for 14 on third down, 337 total yards. Nebraska, not bad, 5 for 12 on third down. Could have been better. 286 total yards. And like I said, they ended up losing there at home. Okay, so we're going to do Oklahoma, Tennessee. Houston, all black uniforms, gets beat at home by West Virginia. Nebraska, all black uniforms, gets beat by USC. Tennessee, all black uniforms, get beats at home by Oklahoma. Can't we stop with the all black uniform crap now? Nobody's intimidated by it anymore. Frankly, it kind of looks dumb. I mean, maybe a black jersey, okay, but all black, come on. The only thing that looks all black, good all black, is a badass car with some black wheels. Come on. Let's stop the all black uniform crap, please. Oklahoma beats them 33-27. Mateer, 159 yards, no touchdowns, threw for an interception, but he ran for 80 and a touchdown. Robinson, 115 rushing yards and a touchdown. Tennessee's Aguilar, not bad, 393 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he did throw 2 picks. Staley, 75 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Aguilar fumbled in the first half. Mason Thomas picked it up, ran 71 yards for a scoop and score. Tennessee did have better numbers post-game, except only 63 rushing yards and 3 turnovers. OU, 104 yards and penalties. Their defense had 4 sacks. Oklahoma they had that signature win at home last year against Alabama. They needed a signature win on the road, and they got it. 5-4, North Carolina State gives number 8 Georgia Tech their first loss of the season, 48-36. I did not see that one coming. Bailey for the Wolfpack, 75% completion rate, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then he ran for a touchdown. Scott, 196 rushing yards and a touchdown. They were 7 for 11 on third down, 583 total yards, 64 yards and penalties. Not too good. Haynes King for Georgia Tech, another great game. 408 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, threw a pick, but he ran for 103 and 2 touchdowns. 6 for 11 on third down, 559 total yards for the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech, though, their defense just couldn't help the offense enough in this game, so they end up losing. 5-4 Arkansas State. They went into Troy, beat 6-3 Troy, 23-10. Arkansas State defense forced 2 turnovers and had 9 sacks. Number 24 Utah beat number 17 Cincinnati, 45-14. Dampier for the Utes, 213 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Parker, 104 rushing yards and a touchdown. Davis, 132 receiving yards and a touchdown. He was everywhere. Sorsby for Cincinnati, 221 passing yards and a touchdown. Also ran for a touchdown. Allen had 103 receiving yards and a touchdown. Utah, though, they did control the game from the start, 24-7 at halftime. Outscored Cincinnati in the second half, 21-7. And the last game of the night, 3-5 San Jose State gives Hawaii their third loss, 45-38. San Jose State, 458 passing yards, 630 total yards against Hawaii. All right, so goes through some of these FCS scores. We had some upsets in FCS. I don't know if you noticed or not. Jackson State, they are 6-2. They beat Florida A&M 41-16. It's actually 10-3 at halftime, and Jackson State woke up, outscored Florida A&M, 31-3 in the second half. Stephen F. Austin, they are 7-2, beat UT Rio Grande Valley 41-17. It was 27-0 at halftime. Despite losing, UT Rio Grande Valley still having a great season in their first year of football. Southeast Louisiana, 7-2. They beat East Texas A&M 59-14. 35-0 at halftime. Southern Illinois, they are 6-3. They beat Murray State 27-7. 5-4 San Diego beat 6-3 Dayton 31-13. Dayton did not score until the fourth quarter. If they want to make it to the FCS playoff bracket, they got to stop that kind of crap. Western Carolina, they are 6-3. They beat Chattanooga 35-28. Western Carolina's Dickens, 225 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. 3-6 Idaho State beat 6-2 UC Davis 38-36. Both those teams, everything was in the first half because both those teams scored under 11 points each in the second half of that one. Tarleton State, boy, they were 9-0 going into that game against Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian's 5-4 now because they beat Tarleton State 31-28. Tarleton State failed to score in the first and third quarter. NC Central, they are 6-3, beat Howard 65-14. NC Central's Chauncey Spikes, 208 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. North Dakota State, they are 9-0. They beat Youngstown State 38-30. Hell of a first half. Those two went at it because it was 28-20 at halftime. Montana, of course, they are 9-0 like we expect. Beat Weber State 38-17. Both those teams only scored 7 points in the second half. Everything in the first half. Illinois State, they are 6-3. They beat Northern Iowa 31-16. Harvard is 7-0. Beat 5-2 Dartmouth 31-10. Craig for Harvard, 322 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Grambling State, they are 6-3. Beat Alabama A&M 13-10. 3-6 Indiana State beat 7-2 South Dakota State 24-12. South Dakota State failed to score in the third quarter. Looks like the Jackrabbits still got a North Dakota State hangover because they lost to a bad Indiana State team. Remember we talked about Lamar down in Beaumont. They're usually not good. This year they're good. Well, 3-6 Incarnate Word, who used to be badass in FCS, they're not anymore. They went down, beat Lamar 24-17. Lamar 7-2 now. Colson for Incarnate Word, 161 yards and 3 touchdowns. South Carolina State, they are 6-3. They beat Morgan State 36-30. South Carolina State Smith, 110 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Mercer, they are 7-1. They beat Furman 52-28. Mercer's Atkinson, 426 passing yards in this game. 4 touchdowns also. Montana State, they are 7-2. Beat Northern Colorado 55-7. Montana State's Lamson, 331 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. South Dakota, they are 6-4. They beat 6-3 North Dakota, 26-21. South Dakota's Dejon Lewis, scoop and score in that game. St. Thomas, Minnesota, they are 6-3. They beat Marist 45-0. They took it a little easier on them in the second half. It was 35-0 at halftime. I guess they said, hey, let's give these guys a break. Only scored 10 points in the second half. Tennessee Tech, they are still undefeated. 9-0, beat Gardner-Webb 37-21. Neither scored in the third quarter, though. That was a lifeless third quarter. Lafayette, they are 6-3, beat Holy Cross 21-13. Holy Cross is 1-8. What's happened to them? They've been a playoff team the last few years. Drake 6-2. They beat Butler 24-19. Butler failed to score in the second quarter of that game. Presbyterian, they're 8-1. They beat Valpasario 43-14. Presbyterian's Colin Hurst, get this, threw 2 touchdown passes, and they did a trick play. He caught a touchdown pass, so pretty impressive game for him. Monmouth, they're 8-1, beat Bryant 35-7. Monmouth's Nelson, 244 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Yale, they are 5-2, beat Columbia 24-10. Yale's Reno, 179 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Lehigh, they're still undefeated at 9-0, beat Georgetown 41-0. Central Connecticut State, 6-3, they beat Long Island, Brooklyn 10-7. Sacred Heart, they are 6-3, they beat New Haven 35-20. Penn, they are 5-2. They beat Brown 28-21 on Friday. Delaware State is 6-3. They beat Norfolk State 27-20 on Thursday. All right, so you got some midweek games. For the most part, but like I said, it's college football. But there are a couple that might be interesting here. So tomorrow night, 6 p.m., CBS Sports Network, 0-8 UMass versus 3-6 Akron. 6 p.m. on ESPN2, Miami of Ohio versus Ohio. Both of them are 5-3, so that might be a decent one. Wednesday, 6 p.m. ESPNU, Kent State versus Ball State, both are 3-5. 6 p.m. on ESPN2 on Wednesday, 2-6 Northern Illinois versus 4-4 Toledo. And then Thursday, moving on to Thursday, 6:30 ESPN2, 3-5 Georgia Southern versus 4-4 Appalachian State. 6:30 on ESPN. You never know, this could be interesting here. UTSA, who beat Tulane, who was 6-1. UTSA 4-4 now. They are going to play 6-2 South Florida. South Florida's a damn good team, but remember what UTSA did to Tulane last week. Now, they're not playing in Alamo Dome. I think they're going to Tampa to play South Florida. But, hey, they beat Tulane, who's a damn good team. They got all this confidence. Who's to say they couldn't go there to Tampa and pull off an upset? Who knows? So that's it. Like we said, the CFP rankings come out tomorrow night for the first time. And college basketball starts this week. And if I remember right, don't they always release the first rankings during the halftime of a game? I have to look at the schedule, see who's playing tomorrow night. But it's always usually during a big game. Davis and Herbie and all of them are there for the release of the rankings. I think that's how they do it. Anyway, we'll be back Thursday or Friday to go over these games during the week and preview what's coming up next weekend. All I can say is, like I always say, keep your head down. Keep working, keep busy, and the weekend will be here again before you know it. Have a great week. We'll see you later on.